This is the Let's Go Win podcast with your host, J.M. Ryerson.
Yo, it's JM here for Let's Go Win podcast.
Yo.
Yo.
That is hilarious. I haven't said that in like forever. Yo. I don't know that I've ever said that.
Yo, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Lisa. Yo.
Well, because so often I'll say, hey, what's happening or what's good? You know, it's the same stuff. So I just felt yo today.
Yo. I like it.
It's like you felt like putting on a snazzy new shirt. That looks brand new.
It is brand new. I didn't even know it's been sitting in. You know what's funny? Like, I don't think this ever happens to you, but I'll have clothes in my closet, forever.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, I've had it forever. And I'll go put it. I'm like, oh, how are there still tags on this thing? It's brand new.
People, you see what I'm dealing with here? That should not happen.
No.
Oh. But I guess it does.
But it's very exciting when you have a new shirt.
What's that? I'm sorry.
It's very exciting when you it's like finding a $20 bill in your winter coat. It's like, I just found a brand new shirt.
But that $20 bill is like tucked in a pocket. Therefore, you can't see it. You have this hanging in an area that's very visible.
Yeah.
I think you have too many clothes. Let's just go ahead and say that.
Not at all.
I think so.
Maybe. I don't know. But anyways, I have a new shirt.
Well, okay. So
I got years ago.
I am giving you what we're talking about today is feedback is key to getting better. And what I'm actually giving her right now is unsolicited advice. That typically doesn't go well. Therefore, she didn't ask for it. If you give me permission, I would let you know that you probably have too many clothes.
Yeah, I didn't give you permission.
Okay, fair enough. So this is an interesting subject, and that is because feedback is not always easy to. In fact, it's really never easy to take. It does get better and easier with time because I think people do realize it's not personal. And if you're asking for feedback from someone, you certainly shouldn't get upset that they gave it to you.
Right.
But it is a practice, and it's something that I do employ quite often. And as much as I say it doesn't hurt, it does hurt my feelings sometimes because when you give your very best, people are like, yeah, it wasn't very good. You're like, oh. But the first point is the reason I ask for feedback so often is it promotes growth. And I look at it this way. Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, Usain Bolt, like think of some of the greatest athletes of all time. They, at the very top of their game, still always are asking for feedback. So arguably, Michael Jordan, the best basketball player, arguably of all time, would always still ask for feedback. So if it's good enough for them, I think it's good enough for us. So yeah. Does it help you grow when you ask for feedback?
Absolutely. And, sometimes it's not things that you want to hear. Like, for example, when I had my Women of Wealth business, right? There was 3 women or 2 other females, Holly and Krista, that were my business partners, and they were awesome. And then we always had a board of other females. And we got to the point after a few years of having the company of just very blunt conversations on what can we improve on, what are we doing well, all that stuff. And we would do it in person, and there would be tears flowing. I mean, it's never fun to hear certain things, but you walk away from that and go, you know what? If 4 other women are saying the exact same thing of things that you need to work on, then yeah, you need to really look at yourself in the mirror and going, okay, what can I do to make that change? And it was quite amazing to see people make those changes and get better and then come back and thank you for the feedback that you gave them and how they've changed because of you in a good way, No,
I mean, it makes sense because we don't know how we show up, right? Like the way we think we look or sound is not typically how we show up in the world. So to your point, 3 or 4 women saying, hey, by the way, and it's the repetitive idea that, yep, you are showing up that way.
Right.
And that's not necessarily what you want. Mm-hmm. As much as that may stink to hear, you would rather know that than continue to act a way that you didn't want to.
Right. Yeah, because you want to be a good human. You want to influence people the right way. You want to do all these great things, right? Or we should. and if you're not showing up the way that you think you are, then it's nice to know that, right? And how are you going to change on that?
Yeah, so I'm actually going to go to the third point because I think it ties in with what you're saying. Is that ultimately the reason I think feedback helps us so much in getting better is it saves us so much time. Because again, we could literally beat our head against a wall trying to change something, but until somebody points out what we're doing wrong, and again, I'll go to golf swing, okay? Jack Nicklaus, arguably the greatest golfer. You could go Tiger, Jack, but Jack has the most majors ever. Anyway, he would start every single year with the very basics, and he would tell his golf coach, the greatest golfer at the time ever, would say, "Teach me how to grip a club." And then he would start his season every year that way, and it would save time because he would develop habits through the season or the off season. So he would just, instead of doing that, he would say, start with like, I know nothing, how to grip a golf club. And then he would constantly ask for feedback.
Interesting. I never knew that.
Well, but you're not a big golf fan either.
I'm an amazing golfer. No,
I didn't say golfer. Yes, you are not a great golfer.
I'm the worst.
And the other thing that's beautiful about feedback is it is always available. Now, this is the tricky one because similarly, you didn't ask for my opinion on whether you have too many shirts, but it was readily available for me to say, hey, if you have a tag on a shirt that you just put on, you have too many damn shirts. So it's always available, but there is a trick, and there is asking for feedback and giving permission to say, I am actually looking for this to help me get better. Will you be willing to do that? And that's something that, especially married couples, because so often unsolicited feedback comes all the time and it doesn't get received well. But if we say, hey, are you open to me saying something? There's a better chance that it'll be received. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. And I think that's so true. And I will call you out on it too, right? Because you'll say something and I go, unsolicited, moving on. Like I've gotten to the point where I don't even take offense to it anymore. It's just like, no, I didn't ask for it. So go ahead and scurry along and we'll talk about it later, maybe, or maybe not. I think it's really important who you're getting the feedback from as well, right? It has to be from people that you respect and that you love and you know that they're coming from a good place, like in their best interest, right? Like I've gotten unsolicited feedback from other people, right? That maybe I don't, not that they're bad people, but they're not in my closest circle of trusted humans in my life. And honestly, I really don't care what they think, So they could be right. But if you don't respect that person, or if you don't consider them a, part of your crew or your inner circle, then that's not the feedback that you're going to receive anyways. Right.
Well, and I think that's part of it is actually asking for feedback. Look, if you write something, guys, trust me, if you put something out in the world, anybody knows this, people will have an opinion. Right. So if you do a lot of social media, you'll put out a post and there will be different opinions. I don't care what it is. You could be Mother Teresa and some way you messed up. People will tell you why you're fake, you're not this, whatever. That happens. So specific for what we're talking about, because feedback does help us get better, it is seeking that out. So do you have, I know you talked about you and Krista and Holly doing that. Do you have a process that you follow every single year, monthly? I don't know. I've actually never asked you this question.
Well, we do ours, right? So you and I sit down every single year and have a meeting and go over our goals and kind of, I don't know it's kind of a grading system. I think we grade each other, but then we're also very open at that time to talk about, how we view the other human, like how we view each other and how we did on that year. Besides that, I really don't have a process. I mean, there could be times where if I have something challenging that comes up and and maybe I'm taking it a certain way, I will definitely call up my closest girlfriends and say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. Am I being sensitive? Am I taking it the wrong way? Am I, what is it? And my closest girlfriends will tell me, like, point blank, like, yeah, you're kind of being wuss about this one, Lisa. Like, don't take it that way, or you're being sensitive, or no, there's validation here. Maybe these are the things that you can do moving forward.
Yeah. So I used to always send out, it was about twice a year, I would send out an email. And I admittedly, I haven't done this for probably the last year, but I would always ask the 5 closest confidants, the people, to your point, in your circle of trust, and ask them for feedback. So I'd ask for the 3 areas that I can most improve in, and then give them permission. I would also sometimes say, look, you can let me know, because so often people want to tell you what you're doing great. And I'm like, that's cool if you do that, but please include what I can improve on. And that was invaluable. It really was. And one of the things that I think when we went through the PSI seminar, or any personal growth thing that you go through, this is probably the most valuable part of having a coach or going through those programs, is you are going to get feedback, and you have to be open to it. The cool thing about that is, that their only interest is helping you get better.
Right.
And that's where it doesn't always feel good, but it is in the vein of helping you become a better version of you.
Absolutely. Yeah, it definitely, the PSI seminars, we went through that years ago, and it was life-changing. It was really life-altering. And I went to WLS, which was, I think there was 130 women all together for 9 days. Yay. But it was awesome. It really, truly was. And I can't really go into all the exercises that we did, but there was a lot of it where you're just constantly getting feedback, good, bad, or ugly, like every single day. And sometimes it sucked. Sometimes it was great, but you knew you had to get through it, and it was to make you better, for sure.
Well, so getting back to it, feedback is key to getting better. The 3 ideas is it helps promote growth. It is always readily available, and it saves time. For those of you in sales, one of the best things you can do, and it's with every potential client, if they don't move forward with you, ask them why. Say, I want to know so I can get better. Why didn't you move forward? Typically what you'll find is they actually will end up becoming your client, because you're being that vulnerable. If they did move forward with you, ask them why, because it's good for you to recognize, good or bad, what you did for somebody that resonated with them. So I'm not telling you this exercise is going to make you feel great. Okay. And big part of why Let's Go Win even exists is to make people feel better. But I will say, it will absolutely help you grow that much faster. So I know it's not the most exciting subject in the world, but feedback is important. So I'd like to get feedback on our online course. So where can they find the online course?
On letsgowin.com. So check out our website. There's books on there, but the online course is super exciting. It's super simple. It's broken up into really just digestible, bite-sized pieces throughout. And James you do a great job of just making things really simple and easy to understand. So I truly believe that could help anybody.
Check it out. Give me the feedback. I'm giving you permission right now. Go ahead. You can send it to jm@letsgowin.com or info@letsgowin.com. Tell me, it was great. It was awful. If it was awful, why? Or, what you got from it, because truly that is what fills my bucket more than anything. That's why we do this content, is for people to get better. So I am giving you permission. Give me the feedback. All right, you guys, until next week, continue transcending life. We'll talk to you then. Thank you so much for listening. If this content is delivering value to you, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review us. That helps us build this community, and that is what we are all about. Building this community as big as we can, helping as many people as we can, and deliver as much value as possible. Be sure to head over to letsgowinpodcast.com for information on my coaching courses, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Let's Go Win 365. Let's go win and transcend in life.
This is the Let's Go Win podcast with your host, J.M. Ryerson.